You're going.
So this is topic 6.4. It's about decimals and fractions and converting between the two. You need to pencil in your notes, and our job today is to turn decimals into fractions and fractions into decimals. In order for that to work, though, you need to remember your place values. So let's go over them real quick. Topic 6.4 is Roman numeral 4, decimals and fractions. So one place before the decimal is the ones place, and after that we have the tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Just keep that in mind. So we're going to convert decimals to fractions, and they've given us this number, 0.45, or how the big kids say it, 45 hundredths. Once you name the place value, when you name the place value of the last digit, hundredths, that tells you how to turn it into a fraction. We're going to turn 45 hundredths into 45 over 100. And then all we have to do is reduce it. Now remember, we learned how to reduce before. We're going to take 45 and factor tree it out. It's 9 times 5, 5 is prime, and 3 times 3. And 100, it's a good one to just memorize. 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. We'll be doing that one a lot. So we have our 45 on top and our 100 on the bottom. We cross out the matching terms, and we're left with 3 times 3 or 9, and 2 times 2 times 5, which is 20. So 45 hundredths is the same thing as 9 twentieths. They are the same. They are converted. Now let's try, again, we'll try this one right here. 3 thousandths. So you put the 3 on top, and what do we put on the bottom? 1,000. Done. Sometimes though you have a mixed decimal. That's when you have a whole number and a decimal. So here we have 6 and 3 tenths. If you have a whole number like that, you're just going to rewrite it again. You don't need to mess with it. And you just say the place value of our last digit. This is 3 tenths. So it's going to be 3 over 10. Let's try another one of those. Let's try 8 and 5 hundredths. So we have our whole number 8, so we just rewrite that. 5 hundredths, so we're going to put it over 100. And we would need to reduce that into 8 and 1/20. Wow, my brain got stuck there. 8 and 1/20. Okay, so there we go. Now we're going to turn fractions back into decimals. Remember, the fractions are just unfinished division problems. We did this before. So we have 4 fifths, or 4 divided by 5. 4 divided by 5, and we get 8 tenths. Remember, we did this just the other day. 5 can't go into fourths. We add a decimal and a 0. 5 goes into 40 8 times. We're all done. What I want you to look at today is 2 ways you can do it with mixed fractions. Here I have 3 1/2. One way we can do it is we can turn this mixed fraction into an improper fraction, doing our famous loop-de-loop, where we multiply and add. 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 plus 1 is 7, so we do 7 halves. And then all we do is divide. 7 divided by 2, or 7 divided by 2. 2 can go into 7 3 times. Bring it down. You're not allowed to have remainders, so we're going to add a decimal and a 0. And 2 goes into 10 5 times, so 3 1/2. Or 3 1/2, like that. Another way of doing it is just, here we have 3 1/2. It's just rewriting the whole number like before, 3, and then finding the decimal form of 1/2, or 1 divided by 2. 2 goes into 1 0 times, so we add a decimal and a 0. 2 goes into 10 5 times, so 0.5, so 3.5. It's the same answer, either way. So let's look at this one, 7 2/3. This one's a little funky because it has something that's called a repeating decimal. We've discussed this already, what repeating decimals are. I'm going to erase this real quick and use my fancy eraser. That's why I can't have nice things. Here we go. So I have this fraction, 7 2/3. There's 2 ways I can do it, so I'm going to solve it 2 different ways. First, I'm going to turn it into an improper fraction. I'm going to do my little loop-de-loop. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 2 is 23, so we have 23/3. So I'm going to divide that. 23 divided by 3. 3 can go into 23 7 times. We subtract, we get a 2. We can't have a remainder, so we had a decimal and a 0. 3 can go into 26 times. We get 18. Oh, another 0. It's going to keep going forever and ever. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. So we're going to add a line over it. That means it keeps repeating. Another way we can do 7 2/3 We have 7 and 2/3. We could just rewrite the 7 like you're supposed to, and then find the fraction form of 2/3. So we have 2 divided by 3. 3 can't go into a 2, so I add a decimal and a 0. 3 goes in 26 times. We subtract and bring down the next 0. 3 goes into 26 times. We subtract and bring down the next 0. 3 goes into 26 times. So it keeps repeating. So you're going to add a line over it. So it's 7.66 repeating. So just like before. Either way will work. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to try this. I want you to turn 8 and 25 thousandths into a fraction. And then I want you to turn 6 and 2/5 into a decimal. I'll give you a moment. You can put it on pause while you do that. Okay, let's look at our answers together. If you need more time, put the video on pause. So it's 8 and 25 hundredths, 25 thousandths. So we have 8 and 25 over 1,000. We need to reduce that. So that would be, on top we have a 5 times 5. And in the bottom, we have 100 times 10, so 100 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 5, 25, 50, 100, oh, 25. Okay. And then we're going to cross out our matching stuff. Shoop, shoop. You should end up with 1 over 2, 4, 8, 40, 1/40th. Is that right? I think so. 8 and 1/40th. And then 6 and 2/5. We have our 6, and then we're going to do 2 divided by 5. 5 goes into 2 0 times. We had a decimal 4 times. So 6.4. Okay, that's it.